There was a report done by NBC News. They went to the Dominican Republic and they interviewed a man who was giving ozone treatments for cancer. And this person was not a doctor, and they spent a lot of time talking about all the terrible things he did. And there happened to be hundreds and thousands of qualified physicians who are licensed. One of them even was nominated for a Nobel Prize in Medicine, who they could have interviewed. And they decided not to do that. And I remember confronting NBC News about this, and they didn't even reply.
Ozone or oxygen therapy. Many people say that it is an effective treatment for cancer and AIDS. Dr. Harvey Waxman is a malpractice attorney as well as a neurosurgeon. Some combination, huh?
Yes.
A hoax, right, Harvey?
Absolutely. Unquestionably a hoax.
There's Adam right here. He says his T cell count's 1,000.
Well, it's wonderful. I'm happy for him. I'm absolutely happy for him, and I really am. However, testimonials are no different than snake oil salesmen who had people who threw away or faith healers.
And you know...
First, though, a tragic story of cancer, ozone, and money.
Ozone therapy is controversial. The stories that it works are anecdotal.
Rare media coverage on the subject has profiled con men and ignored the science. Ozone has also been used as an example of health fraud by FDA officials.
Hello, my name is Ken Thiefall. I'm a scientist and clinical researcher.
Despite his white coat, this man is no doctor, and in 1999 was sentenced to prison for making false claims and selling ozone equipment.
A doctor I know of in Mississippi recently cured 248 cases of AIDS simply with the use of ozone.
Those are the classic snake oil salesmen we've heard so much about today. Their actions are moral obscenities of the worst type. And this product, Mr. Chairman, is the notorious ozone generator that you've heard so much about today. This is the tube by which the individual purports to be able to, excuse me, the wrong tube, but you get the idea, to put ozone into their rectum or their vagina, despite the fact that there is no medical evidence to support the efficacy of ozone.
No published studies have ever shown ozone can cure AIDS, and no peer-reviewed doctor has claimed it. But why has this FDA official denied any medical benefit for ozone whatsoever?
Despite the fact that there is no medical evidence to support the efficacy of ozone.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So what's new about that? How many people out there are going to be shocked to find out that their politicians, that their people in high office don't know what they're talking about?
In 2004, the FDA website continues to list ozone as having no medical benefit. The resulting bias has profoundly affected the public's perception of ozone and sent a chill through the research community. Despite a sometimes hostile environment, some limited research has been conducted in the United States, notably with HIV.
We worked on the AIDS virus to try and see how quickly we could inactivate this and at the same time compare it to what effect that had on a healthy white blood cell. And we found that we could produce an enormous inactivation of the virus, reducing it from 1 million virions down to no viruses at all at, say, 4 micrograms of ozone. And twice that dose had no adverse effect on the healthy white blood cell. During that time from 0 to 8 micrograms, that was double the dose that was adversely affecting the virus, you are actually stimulating the white blood cell to be more effective.
Other researchers found similar results. The Canadian Department of National Defence investigated ozone's potential to sterilize blood. Canadian studies used equipment from 2 companies. Both struggled for many years to obtain approval to market their equipment. One company, now called Vasogen, uses an expensive, complicated, and patented method that combines ozone with heat and ultraviolet light to treat tiny samples of blood. In February 2004, Vasogen received European approval to treat vascular conditions. But nowhere in the company website or brochure is the word ozone ever used. They declined a request for an interview. The other supplier was a tiny American startup called Medizone International, created almost 20 years ago by Terence McGrath in New York.
We filed with the Food and Drug Administration for the sale of the drug produced by the equipment and its use in the treatment of AIDS. The FDA required that we carried out research to demonstrate non-toxicity and likely efficacy, and that we've done.
Medizone conducted lab and animal studies, and their application for human trials also referenced the millions of people treated in Europe, but that information was dismissed as anecdotal. The FDA wanted more animal studies, but by the early 1990s, Medizone had run out of money. Desperate for research dollars, Medizone then applied to the U.S. government's National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute to test ozone's potential to sterilize blood. They presented the Canadian monkey study, as well as research conducted by a respected co-discoverer of the HIV virus.
We were able to sterilize HIV and HTLV very effectively in an in vitro setting in human plasma without destroying human factor VIII. Our hope was that we could then pursue this strategy and see, could we use ozone as a way to make human plasma products safer? Would this be a strategy that we could exploit, not just for HIV, but for any potential infectious agent, even those that we haven't discovered yet, and that the ozone might be a cost-effective, thorough way of eliminating infectious agents from plasma products?
Government reviewers could find no fault with Medizone's science, but their application was still rejected for reasons other than scientific.